The wind howled through the ancient trees that surrounded Hollowbrook Manor, sending shivers down the spines of anyone brave enough to venture near. The old mansion had stood for centuries, its dark history shrouded in mystery and whispers of malevolent spirits. In the heart of Hollowbrook Manor lived the unfortunate Sinclair family. Emma Sinclair, a widowed mother, struggled to provide for her two young children, Lily and William, after the sudden death of her husband. Desperate and with nowhere else to turn, she moved her family into the mansion, hoping to find solace within its walls. From the moment they crossed the threshold, a heavy sense of dread settled upon them. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant echo of footsteps that seemed to come from nowhere. As nights turned into days, strange occurrences plagued the family. Objects would move on their own, doors would creak open, and chilling whispers would fill the corridors. One night, as a storm raged outside, Emma was jolted awake by the sound of children's laughter. Heart pounding, she rushed to Lily and William's room, only to find them sound asleep. The laughter persisted, growing louder and more maniacal, seeming to come from all directions at once. Emma's breath hitched in her throat as she realized that the voices were not those of her children, but something far more sinister. As days passed, the sinister presence grew stronger. Lily began talking to an imaginary friend named Charlotte, a girl with hollow eyes and a tattered dress. Emma grew increasingly concerned, convinced that her children were in danger. She sought the help of a local priest, Father Montgomery, who agreed to perform a cleansing ritual to rid the mansion of its malevolent inhabitants. The night of the ritual arrived, and Hollowbrook Manor was cloaked in an eerie silence. Father Montgomery began the ritual, his chants echoing through the halls. Suddenly, the temperature dropped, and the air grew heavy with an oppressive darkness. The walls seemed to close in as shadows danced menacingly. Emma clutched her children tightly, praying for deliverance. As Father Montgomery's incantations reached a crescendo, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air. Lily pointed at the wall, her eyes wide with terror. The portrait of the manor's original owner, Lord Hollowbrook, had come to life. His eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and a sinister grin twisted his spectral face. The very air seemed to vibrate with his malevolent energy. In a desperate bid to save her family, Emma snatched Lily and William and fled the room, the echoes of the tormented screams of the past ringing in her ears. As they reached the front door, it slammed shut with a deafening bang, trapping them inside. The walls seemed to close in, and the mansion itself seemed to come alive, a living, breathing entity determined to consume them. Emma's heart raced as she looked into her children's frightened eyes. She knew that they were running out of time. With a burst of adrenaline, she mustered all her strength and screamed, her voice piercing the darkness. Suddenly, a blinding light enveloped them, and a deafening roar filled the air. When the light receded, they found themselves outside, the mansion crumbling into dust behind them. Hollowbrook Manor had finally released its grip, but the scars it left would forever haunt the Sinclair family. They moved far away, trying to escape the horrors they had endured. But even in their new home, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that the darkness was never truly far behind. And so, they lived in perpetual fear, forever haunted by the malevolent spirits of Hollowbrook Manor.